Guys, welcome back to another video, and I'm going to try and keep this video as short as possible. I'm going to be talking about I've just received this today. This is the Godox V1. Here in the UK it's called the Go1S, sorry. And I'm just going to talk about how it compares against the V860 just very quickly. So let's get into it. The first thing I went ahead and did with the Godox V1 here was to check that it would accept the MagMod grids. Okay, lay down, good boy. He's a wee bit nervous of the cat. You're okay, good boy. Can I get a paw? You're on video, look, see it? You're a good boy. Here we have the Godox V1. Everyone knows about the circular head. And the first thing I went ahead and did was put on the MagMod grip, and I wanted to just make sure that that fit. Now, if you thought it was a tight fit, you know, giving yourself a hernia, putting the grip onto the V860, I actually had to get a second person help me so that we could pull it over the Godox V1. It does fit, but you won't take it on and off ever. Like when you put it on once, you will never take it off. So that's good to know that it fits at least. They're more or less the exact same height. Some of the things that have changed compared to the V860, which has this sliding kind of compartment door here for the battery, the lithium battery there. The first thing I noticed when I got the V1 is, I was like, what the heck is this? You know, there's a hole in the side. So here's the battery of the V1. One of the other major differences with these two flashes is the battery. So here we have the two batteries. The one on this one here is the Godox V1, and this is the Godox V860. I don't know how they've managed to get this battery at a lower voltage, still have the same output and power, but I've metered both the flashes and they're identical in power. I don't know how they've done it, some wizardry, and I like it. So, battery goes in the side like so, and it's got this nice little ejection button here that you hold in before you press the flash to release it back out. Like I said, this is not a review, this is just a kind of first impressions with this. And like I said, I just wanted to compare a couple of the things with the V860, which I'm a wee bit more familiar with. And I can talk a wee bit more about how they compare that way. Physical dimension wise, they are pretty much identical. Build quality wise, they are again identical. You know, there's no sort of any sagging of the head. However, one of the new features this does is it angles back more so that you can bounce off the wall behind you rather than having to rotate that. Oh, the head doesn't actually turn anti-clockwise 180. It stops at, I don't even know what that angle is. It's like 160 degrees. It's like, so if that's it normal and we rotate it anti-clockwise, there's 90. It stops just before 180. That's kind of odd. And then when we rotate it clockwise, yeah, it goes to full 180, like we'd expect. The V860 will turn clockwise or anti-clockwise the full 180, but won't go back as far. You know, like your typical flash, it pretty much a couple of degrees back from, kind of straight up. I also want to talk about the differences in charging for these two flashes. So for the V860, the bigger battery, this is the size of charger you'll get, and it has your typical kind of figure of 8 cable. I don't know what these cables are called, so I'll just call it a figure of 8. And for the new Godox V1, you've got this wee charger. And rather than the 8-figure cable, and the USB-C cable plugs into this. This flash was purchased from a company in the UK called Essential Photo, hence why it's got this confusing name to anyone in Europe or any Americans out there. rather than the Godox V1, it is called the Pixapro Geo 1S. But like I said, for reference, we're just going to call it the Godox V1. If we punch in here, this rotation dial also has buttons that go up, down, left and right here. However, the plastic actually moves. I don't know if you can see that. So I don't know if that's going to be an issue, you know, in the coming months, or, you know, time will tell, I guess, but I'm not too pleased with that, because even if you just rotate the jog wheel here, it still moves that inner piece of plastic. And like I said, there is buttons underneath it, so I don't know if that's going to be an issue. One of the things that's really cool about this flash that I actually didn't know about, because there's been a couple of kind of updates. Most of my information on this flash has come from Robert Hall, or, you know, other people online. Initially, Godox had autofocus LED light on the front, which just before release they actually got rid of. You know, it was people had basically said that it was quite a powerful, obnoxious light, and they just basically removed it. So what they have done is they've put an LED light on the top here, actually inside next to the flash bulb, which I will try and demonstrate now by turning on. There we go. And it's got 10 different power settings. That's it up full, and then there we go, back off. Awesome. That's quite cool. From a user's point of view, this would be good, you know, if you were using your flash off camera and you maybe had it on a bracket or whatever, you know, kind of pointing at your subject. That could maybe help with, you know, focusing in the low light or whatever. But I don't know if you can do this, if you can turn the LED on and off remotely yet. That's something that I'll need to get familiar with. Like I said, I've only just received this flash unit. I've got a wedding coming up in a couple of days. I'm going to be using it, so a review will be coming soon. Okay, so the first test I want to do is the recycle time of these two flashes. So what I'm going to do is put them both at full power, and we'll just do like a couple of pops to see what the recycle time is. They are very, very comparable. I would say that they're identical. I would say they're basically the exact same. You know, if there's any difference, you're talking about milliseconds. Yeah? Is that showing up okay? Cool. One of the things that I like about the new Godox V1 is we've now pulled away from this green screen that we used to have on the V860, which was quite nasty. Granted, it's only a blue screen, you know, it's not like a full coloured screen, but it is a wee bit nicer to look at, a wee bit easier on the eyes. Let's get rid of this V860 a second. One of the other things I like using the V860 is we now have dedicated buttons for the groups and channels here. So now that we can set things up with fewer buttons and less faffing about inside awkward menus. But one of the things I noticed, and I hope it doesn't become an issue, is when the Godox V1 is in the trigger mode, I'll demonstrate, it always has high-speed sync enabled, and there's no way to disable that. I'm going to try and demonstrate that now.
2,000 years later.
Like I said, because I'm not entirely familiar with this, it took me a wee bit of getting used to. Looking at the back of the Godox V1, you'll see here on the top right, it's got this H for high-speed sync, but there's no way to turn that off whilst you're triggering. But the V860 doesn't do that, and if it does, there's a sync button so that you can turn it on and off. So I don't know if that's going to be an issue for flash power or not. Time will tell. Like I said, this is not a review, just a kind of quick first impressions, and honest kind of first impressions, I guess, because, you know, there's no doubt going to be 1,000,001 reviews of this in the coming weeks or months as it kind of rolls out into Europe and, you know, everywhere else, and everyone else gets their hands on them. So just a kind of quick final round up then. Like I said, initially With the LED being built into the flash head here up the top, my personal opinion is this would be perfect for people who are using this primarily as off-camera flash. Couldn't say that there. Off-camera flash. Can you say it, Ben? You can't say it. Again, if there's a way to turn that on and off remotely with maybe the X Pro trigger, don't know, time will tell. That would be pretty sweet. Obviously that's going to help, like I said, it's going to help with the focusing in low light. If not, then if it's on a light stand high up out the road, it's a case of you're going to have to leave it on, in which case you're going to have this LED blinding people, or it's just going to be off, in which case it's kind of pointless. If they had kept the LED on the front here, and there was a way that you could turn it on and off just as like a autofocus assist for on-camera flash, I personally think that would be fine. I think that would be okay. I don't know why they've chose to. I'm sure someone smarter than me will have answers to these questions. Yeah, so that kind of rounds up here. I hope you guys, Okay guys, that rounds up the video for today. I hope that was helpful. If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up. As I said, stay tuned, there will be a review coming soon. If you guys have any questions, feel free to leave a comment below. Thanks.